And this is 1 in a Million.
We all have a story to be told. We are all different, young and old. Some are bound for glory, while others want to try. Every road is different, and there's a million stars up in the sky. 1 in a million. You're just 1 in a million. It's the story of the life and times of people all across this land.
Coming up, the risky business of bullfighting.
I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm any crazier than a guy who drives a race car 200 mile an hour or, you know, gets in the ring and beats the heck out of each other being a boxer.
We meet the owner of Saskatchewan's only bilingual newspaper, and Ken Kenway, the skin artist of Qu'appelle.
The younger crowd now is all Guns N' Roses and that kind of thing, and I wouldn't want Guns N' Roses on me after I'm 70 years old.
Welcome to the show. One of the most popular spectator sports in Western Canada is the rodeo. Our first story tonight is about a man who makes a living chasing bulls and saving cowboys. Ryan Byrne and his family enjoy life on their farm just east of Prince Albert. For Ryan, his wife Kelly, and their sons Bo and Jess, spending time together at home is a rare treat. Because for 9.5 months of the year, Ryan is on the road chasing bulls.
Close.
For the last 13 years, Ryan has been dressing up like a clown and making a living as a professional rodeo bullfighter.
I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm any crazier than a guy who drives a race car 200 mile an hour or, you know, gets in the ring and beats the heck out of each other being a boxer. But I respect what they can do because they can do it very well. And I think I was just maybe gifted to do this and can't do it forever, but when I do it, I want to do it right and maybe be the best that I can.
While Ryan's profession is dangerous, it's also been financially rewarding. At 28 years of age, he's already earned enough to build a beautiful home for his family.
It'll be here when I'm gone, and maybe the kids will have it and have a place for themselves too. And it was all built on rodeo and all the earnings and everything that I made. So it's something that when I'm maybe 70 or 80, I can look back on and say that this log was built by this bull that got me or something like that. But it's just nice to come home and get away from everything.
Ryan's job is to protect bull riders after they've been thrown off. He sets himself up as a colorful distraction so the cowboy can escape. Since he was a kid, he's admired the role of the rodeo clown.
What they stood for, like helping people and the way that they protect the bull rider, and that's their main job. And then the challenge of going against something that might endanger in a little bit, and in other words, get away from something that could hurt you bad. Get all your stuff with you.
Every year, Ryan and his family travel thousands of miles going to rodeos all across North America. It helps that his wife, Kelly, shares his love for the sport. It was at a rodeo where they first met.
I barrel race, and so I was going to rodeos, and he was going to rodeos, and just kind of met at a rodeo.
Yeah.
From that first day, Kelly has played a big part in Ryan's career.
She understood, I think, the whole thing about the business and what I was in, and she's been a great coach to me, too, all through the times. And there's some days when you maybe drag around a little bit and not doing your job so good. She's always the coach at the end of the day that tells me what I did wrong and maybe I should pick things up a little bit or you're going to get run over and things like that. So she's been a great help.
Bigger rodeos, like this one in Saskatoon, are the kind Ryan enjoys the most. The cowboys are pros, and the stock is top quality.
Okay, I'm gonna go. See ya. Be careful.
It's the first time he kissed me just because the camera's here.
Before a performance, Ryan likes to stay as loose as he can.
Boy, this should screw your glasses up, wouldn't it?
Bullfighters prepare themselves like any other professional athlete. That includes everything from getting taped up to putting on the uniform.
There's a purpose for all this stuff, but it's just a tradition. Like the bandanas, lots of times the bulls get a hold of them, or like get their heads on it or whatever. Most of the time, that's why lots of times you try to get your hand on the bull's head, because they'll pick their heads up and slow down a little bit. So if they get a hold of a bandana, it gives you that much further to get away from them. You know, it slows it up. In the baggy pants, if they ever get a hold of these, they'll hook it off and rip them most of the time. Instead of close to your skin, they'll get a hold of you. So it's all a purpose, and that's why you wear the bandanas.
When Ryan heads to the ring to do his job, he becomes totally focused. His concentration is high.
First of all, you're thinking about maybe watching the cowboy, because if his head pops up or his feet start to come back, you know he's going to get bucked off. So you always want to beat the wreck before it ever happens and maybe get 2 steps ahead of it. And then when, you know, a bull is coming at you in a certain way, you've got to kind of look at him and see his different leads. They have leads like a horse, and you got to watch things like that and get them off their game plan and into yours.
Kelly's learning how to handle watching her husband risk his life in the ring.
I guess I am nervous, but I feel confident that he knows what he's doing.
For all the years Ryan has been doing this, he's been fortunate. He's only had one life-threatening injury. It happened a couple of years ago in Manitoba. He was trying to help a fallen rider when the bull drove its horn into Ryan's forehead. He still bears the scar from that accident.
And they rushed me to Winnipeg Hospital and operated for, I guess it was 3 hours on me, and got a splinter went off, the horn went off and went inside my head, and they operated, and I was in there for 4 or 5 days.
Was it close to being fatal then?
Yeah, the doctor said if someone would have come up and just touched it the wrong way, you would have been gone. It was touching the brain, I guess, and it's as close as I ever want to come.
In that one moment, Ryan came close to losing everything he had worked so hard to achieve. Throughout the ordeal, his wife and family encouraged him not to give up on the business he loves so much. They even supported his decision to return to the ring just 4 months later.
Of course, it's scary, you know, and it really made us think about things a lot, like things that you take for granted all the time, like, you know, family, friends. And you can't quit. I mean, it's, you know, it could happen walking across the street or anything. It's not just going to be, you know, by a bull. You know, if it's your time to go, you're going to go.
Bullfighting is the event that has made Ryan famous in the rodeo world. It's a relatively new sport that Ryan has excelled at from the beginning.
What they were designed for is to show our abilities. Lots of times they don't see it in the bull riding and stuff, so this was designed as a match to show that the clown's ability and athletic abilities were there.
While protecting cowboys is exciting, it doesn't match the thrill of going one-on-one with an angry bull.
To beat a bull, it's like in the bullfights and that no one else can get around or you know, get by for the 70 seconds. If you can beat him, I think it's like scoring a hat trick in the Stanley Cup playoffs or something like that. It's a real high.
Ryan plans on giving up the excitement of bullfighting in a couple of years and settling down to a more normal life of farming and ranching. But he'll never forget his days in the rodeo.
Yes, it's given me everything I wanted. It's given me a family with Kelly and the kids, friends. I've got friends all over the country, in North America and in Australia and all through. And, you know, I've seen pretty well all of the country, all North America, and I don't think anybody can be in a better job. I love to do what I do, and I'm my own boss, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
This is a story about a man who's found a way to make a living and preserve his culture. Gravelbourg is the center of French culture in rural Saskatchewan. For Paul Boisvert, it was the perfect place to start a newspaper.
The community itself posed a lot of interesting challenges in terms of the bilingual nature. I saw it as a community that isn't just agriculturally based. It has another source of revenue, another character to it, and that was the French element, which I felt would make it interesting and also be able to sustain a paper. There's one that he wanted put in this next issue, I believe.
7 years ago, Paul decided to quit the newspaper business in Calgary. He returned to his home province and set up the Gravelbourg Tribune.
We had started, I worked with several national newspapers and magazines in Calgary, and then I got together with a group of individuals and we started some small weeklies around just north of Calgary. Did that for several years before going back to the city itself. And after a few years, I decided to come to Gravelbourg. There wasn't a paper here.
From the very beginning, Paul established the Tribune as a bilingual paper. Many of the stories and advertisements are written in both official languages.
Yes, I believe it's the only one of its kind in Saskatchewan, if not in the West.
Paul likes to promote the community. His paper focuses on upbeat stories like store openings, anniversaries, and special events. He's not afraid to tackle controversial subjects like the French-English debate. Over the years, he's learned how to make his point without offending too many people.
And I think that's the role of a good editorialist. It's not to just blatantly attack something and take one side of an issue and play the devil's advocate. The old days of, well, let's increase circulation, let's get all the groups fighting amongst each other and get them to use the paper as a vehicle to express themselves in this fight. You really can't do that in this community because the issues are very, very delicate, and there's no point stirring things up of that nature.
Paul's partner at the Tribune is journalist Lois Ross.
Why don't you publish the whole series in the Tribune? Like once it's all over, and this will probably be the final one, right?
Yes,
you can
yes,
publish some of the better ones.
We're not going to go for that. That's a good point. Never
Because
thought.
they're...
Lois writes a column that often deals with language and cultural issues.
I've written about the language issue or the unity issue in Canada, you know, or what's happening in Quebec, what's happening in Francophone communities outside of the country, or outside of Quebec, rather. The importance of culture, that sort of thing. Sometimes just with local disputes, you know, I've ended up writing columns that comment on what's going on.
By providing French content in the Tribune, Paul believes he's helping to preserve his French heritage.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to maintain your language and your culture. I feel it's an enriching experience, and my ancestry, they're Francophones as well, and I don't see why, you know, we shouldn't at least try to preserve some of the history to our descendants. Yeah.
About 80 kilometers southwest of Gravelbourg is the town of Pontex. It too has a large French population and was a perfect setting for Paul to set up a branch office for his newspaper. He's hoping to develop a closer relationship with French-speaking people in the area.
Non, c'est ça la longueur ici, ces deux-là.
Paul is renting space from a local merchant. In the true spirit of the small-town newspaper, Paul's new landlady becomes a subject for a story.
Good. Okay. What I'd like to do is maybe get a shot outside as well. And I'm going to try to get someone to take a photograph of the two of us in front of the building if we could. Because it's going to be as much a story about the fact that they're moving the office and the Tribune into your store, right? So if it's split, si tu vois que l'image est pas tout à la droite entre la ligne.
In order to be successful, Paul must first be accepted in the community. He spends a lot of time earning the trust and respect of the local people.
Good. Parfait. Okay. C'est tout.
For Paul, expanding into Pontex was a logical business move.
The reason I made a connection with Gravelbourg and Pondex was basically because of the Francophone similarities. They're both Francophone populations. They've had a lot to do with each other. When the communities were first founded, there was more of a connection because of their ties with language and culture. Today, naturally, the trading areas and the patterns that have evolved are a little different, and they're not so connected and so involved with each other. But in terms of my newspaper, it complements it nicely to have two areas which have their proper trading districts.
Paul admits he has professional as well as personal reasons for wanting French culture to continue in Saskatchewan. He will use his paper to help bring English and French communities together.
It's a lot easier to just forget the language and go with the flow and go with the majority, which is English and is part of Canada. So the battle to maintain the language and the culture is extremely difficult, and it's quite a challenge for the people. It's to the point now where, unless drastic measures are taken, you could easily say that within a 50-year period, there may be no French spoken at all on the streets of Gravelbourg, as well as any other Francophone community.
Oh, tu cherches quelque chose? Oh, oui. Hey, j'ai pas fini.
While Paul has some concerns about the fate of the French language in Saskatchewan, he remains optimistic about the future.
There's the hope that the community will continue to grow. There's the hope that I can be a part of that growth, that the fact that we have a paper which is understanding enough, flexible enough, and open-minded enough to deal with issues, that we can grow with the community and hopefully prosper with it.
Next, we meet a freewheeling skin artist from Qu'appelle. For 61-year-old Ken Kenway, there's no greater thrill than hopping on his Harley, heading down the highway.
I don't know. You can get out of bed in the morning feeling down in the dumps and real lousy and get on this thing and ride down that highway 10, 15 miles. You're a new man, you know. It's a great way to get rid of a hangover.
Ken's second greatest thrill in life comes from his work. He's a professional skin artist, more commonly known as a tattooist. For the last 14 years, he's been plying his trade in the quiet little town of Qu'appelle.
I've got tattoos in every province in Canada with the help of Moose Jaw Air Force Base and Army Base in Alberta, extra gangs on the railway. I've got tattoos overseas now with fellows that have come here from Moose Jaw Air Force Base.
Ken figures over the years he's left his mark on more than 5,000 people.
Everybody's getting them, you know. I've tattooed 70-year-old woman. Yeah, I put roses around the wrist of a 70-year-old woman from Winnipeg. Wanted one all her life and never got one.
Ken considers a tattoo a work of art. Over the years, he's transformed his own body into a kind of a living canvas.
You know what, when a person first meets someone like yourself and you look at your arms there, it's almost shocking if you're not used to tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
Do you find that when people first meet you, do they go, whoa?
Yeah, you go into a cafe and sit for a cup of coffee, you know, and little kids will come running up and take a look, even if you're on the highway with your bike in the summertime, and a car passes you, and the kids are in the back. They'll start trying to get Mom and Dad's attention, to take a look at this guy, and Dad, he steps on the gas usually and gets out the best way he knows how, you know.
These days, tattoos have a new image. They're growing in popularity, especially among women. 70% of Ken's clients are females.
I think it's to do with the equipment. Now you can get a fine line tattoo gun that you can do real small work. Years ago you couldn't, Those old army tattoos are such heavy outlines, you couldn't put a butterfly on a woman with a, outline like that.
Lori has been getting tattoos from Ken for 6 years. She's proud of the artwork and feels strongly about the statement it makes.
I like them because they're something that I'll always have. They're a part of me. They, to me anyway, they express parts of me that I can't really express with words. So it comes out in what I get put on me.
Tell me about this one right here. Now that looks fascinating.
This one actually took a lot of months to do. It had started out as just this little piece, and it was intended to go down on the bottom of my other leg to cover a scar. But it was switched to here, and afterwards the spider and the web were added on from some of my little boy's animal cards. The spider and web fascinated me, so we got that on as best as we could, the way it was in the pictures. Then we went on with these pieces around it because I didn't feel like the web should be hanging in nothing. And from there,
Wait,
we
it
went
just
to
keeps on going all the way up there, doesn't it?
and then it goes across.
Corey got his first tattoo 3 years ago. This is his first one from Ken. Like Lori, he has personal reasons for wanting them.
Because I love art. I love ink. It's an expression, I guess you could say. It's like you get something that nobody else has and nobody else will ever have. It's unique and it's an expression of yourself, your lifestyle, and it's just great.
You get used to that, Corey? How do you feel looking at that tattoo now on yourself? And how does that make you feel when it's finally there?
I love it. I've wanted that tattoo for about 4 years now. I've seen it, I drew it up.
Yeah, that's his own creation.
How come it took you so long to go through with it then?
Come up with the cash.
Till you came up with the money.
Yeah. Awesome.
You think you'll come back to Ken, get some more work
Oh,
done?
most definitely. I'll probably get my whole arm finished by him.
So you haven't stopped?
Oh, no.
When are you going to stop?
When I have no more skin.
Some of Ken's clients are so young they can't legally get a tattoo without written permission. 14-year-old Trevor is working on his second tattoo.
Hello, Ken.
Hi, Guy, you made it. Yeah. Didn't bring Mother with you this time?
No.
No?
Many of today's celebrities and rock groups flaunt their tattoos. It's had a powerful influence on the younger generation. Ken isn't exactly sold on some of the designs his younger clients bring in.
The younger crowd now is all Guns N' Roses and that kind of thing, and I wouldn't want Guns N' Roses on me after I'm 70 years old, I know that. Huh?
Ken makes a point of informing his clients about the permanency of a tattoo. Even he has regrets about some of the work on his body.
Some of this stuff went out with the horse and buggy, eh? And I would love to have that cat on me, for instance, but where are you gonna put it that anybody can see it?
Are you going to get more tattoos put on you?
Well, likely, yeah.
So where are they going to go?
On my back, I guess, or yeah.
How about your face?
No, I would never tattoo.
That's where
my
you draw
face.
the line.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line. I'm sorry I have them on my hands, actually. It's a bad thing, but...
Two of Ken's children, Mark and Cindy, are both interested in this business and say they'd like to make it a family tradition.
Yeah.
We've sort of expressed it, helped him out. He needs a break now and then, so it's something different. We both learned how to draw from him, and I used to help him custom paint vans and paint signs, and just carried on from there. He just left me on my own one night and told me to do my best, and it's just like tracing off a piece of paper, I find it. He has problems at first. He was a little nervous.
While Cindy is more interested in tattooing, her brother Mark enjoys creating new designs. Both of them have been influenced by their dad's work and lifestyle.
Yeah, actually, you get quite people that are amused when they meet our father. It's like, that's your dad. Yeah, that's my dad, eh? It's quite different. Ever since I was old enough to remember, he's always been the same, except for some form of art he was doing. And tattooing just caught on one day.
For Ken, life couldn't be better. Between his business and his bike, he figures he's got it all.
Oh, I say it just free, you know. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing. No, I do everything same, even better, you know. Yeah, it just doesn't get much better than this, eh? Yeah.
born to be wild.
That's all the time we have. We enjoy hearing from you. If you have any questions or comments, please write to us. Our address is 1 in a Million, in care of SCN, 8th floor, Chateau Tower, 1920 Broad Street, Regina, Saskatchewan. Postal code S4P3V7. Before we go, here's a look at some of the people you'll be meeting in our show in the weeks ahead. Ever since he was a kid, Scott Argue has wanted to be a trick roper.
I really thought it was something. Well, it was the first time I ever saw trick roping when I saw it on Roy Rogers. I thought, gee, that's neat. I didn't believe it that somebody could do that with a rope, because I'd never seen it. Ah, got me. Oh, girl, I'd like to try that again.
Today, Scott is the only professional trick roper in Saskatchewan, and one of the few in Canada. He's been roping for 25 years, but like any seasoned performer, he's always striving to perfect his act.
Because people remember, they'll remember you more when you goof up than they will if you're perfect. If they're perfect, they'll remember you for that day. But if you goofed up really bad on something, they'll remember you a year later, 2 years later.
Which one catches the best trout?
For 63-year-old Henry Gillis, there's nothing better than to have someone catch a fish from his personal fishing pond.
It's to see the joy in the kids, you know, and the smile on their faces when they catch a fish, you know, not this young and old, but, you know, everybody is happy. And then this pictures and, you know, all over, and then this smiles, you know, right from the top to the bottom there, you know. Like.
6 years ago, Henry turned a small piece of his land outside of Regina into a fishing paradise he calls the Silver Springs Trout Ranch.
Oh, Miss Megan. Look at that fish. That's called a rainbow trout.
Watch for those stories and more in the weeks to come. I'm Larry Keat. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on 1 in a Million.